What's up guys, Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles, and today's episode we are going to talk about a very underrated credit card from USBank. Now you may not have really ever heard of this credit card if you are not deep into the game. And like I said, it is super underrated, and I actually broke down and applied for it. Even though I'm supposed to be trying to get under 524, I had to apply for my first personal credit card in 2021 because this one was too tempting. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, we talk about credit cards, personal finance, and traveling. If you're interested in something like that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We release videos at least twice weekly, and if you get any value at all out of this video, please hit the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it'll get the information out to other people who need it. Let's get right into it. Guys, today we are going to talk about the USBank Cash Plus Visa. Now, I can tell you a little brief story. I started doing videos on USBank credit cards recently, and I have felt that they are very interesting as far as maybe a third choice. Obviously, you have the big kids, Chase and Amex, but I think the USBank credit cards are super interesting. They also have some business credit cards. They're not as interesting, but they do have their uses. So I started researching USBank credit cards, and I discovered that to help with approval for them, they really like for you to have a relationship with their bank. So recently, I established a personal checking account and a business checking account with USBank. Both of those things were super easy. I did them both online. With the business checking account, I did get a secured message and I had to provide some additional documentation. Real easy. Then I was approved. Now with their personal checking account, the entry-level checking account requires you to keep a minimum of $1,500 balance in the checking account. But I also learned from USBank that if you have a personal credit card with them, that minimum balance is waived. Another reason why I thought it was a good idea to apply for this card. What does the USBank Cash Plus do for you? Does it have a bonus? Everybody in the credit card game knows that the first question we ask is, what kind of bonus can I get for doing business with these guys? The card has a small bonus. It's a $150 cash back bonus, but it's only $500 spend in the first 90 days. Now that may seem like some low-hanging fruit, and if you are deep in the game, or you already bank with USBank, it's just an extra $150, but we haven't got to the really cool part of this card yet. And also, this is cash back. This is fairly simple, and even if you are a points guy like me, I am a points and miles guy. I like to use my rewards for travel. It does not hurt to have some cash back options in your repertoire. There are times when cash back is just a better idea. For instance, I have a lot of my travel plans already planned out and booked through March of 2022. So I don't really have any trips planned that I need points and miles for, except for maybe a quick trip to South Florida in October. We already have tons of hotel points and airline miles. At the moment, I'm not exactly aspiring to accumulate tons of points and miles because I already have them and I already have my plan set. So why not add some cash back to the rotation? So, an extra $150 for the easy to get bonus. What does the card earn? Now this is where this card gets super interesting for a cashback card as opposed to a lot of other cards on the market. This card earns 5% cash back, but instead of rotating categories and the bank's picking what you spend on, you pick two categories. Two categories. It tops out at $2,000 per quarter. So if you are familiar with the rotating category 5% cashback cards, they normally top out at $1,500 a quarter. So $2,000 a quarter, two categories that you pick get 5% cash back. I do want to clarify that these 5% categories that you choose that will earn you 5% cash back, those categories are chosen quarterly. So you can switch them, and from what I understand, the categories may change a little bit from quarter to quarter. So you're not stuck with the same categories. You can be flexible with what is going on with your life during that quarter. Let's go over these categories because, again, the deeper we get into this, the more interesting this card gets. The categories, some of them you don't see on very many cards. Real quick. Categories: TV, internet, and streaming. That's all one category. I don't know if I've ever seen all that in one category, but TV, internet, and streaming. Now let me explain why this is interesting to me. I have a little tiny cable bill, but obviously I have internet service. But with the streaming, I have a couple different streaming services. But if you are a UFC or a fight fan, you know that the pay-per-views are purchased from ESPN Plus now. So you're actually purchasing the pay-per-views from a streaming service. And if you are a fan, you know that they are not cheap anymore. They're $75 or $80. And some families are football families. Some families are baseball families. We are a fight fan. We watch most of the pay-per-views. It's our thing. So for me, TV, internet, and streaming being one category and 5% cash back, it's very interesting. Next we have fast food. Now this is not sit-down restaurants, and actually USBank has a pretty good clarification page on what fast food is as opposed to sit-down. You know, Chipotle, Burger King, McDonald's. If you spend money there, 5% is not bad. Now honestly, there are a lot of cards out there that do cater to dining. That's very competitive. So that's not super interesting to me. Next category is cell phone providers. Again, there are quite a few cards out there that do offer cell phone providers as a bonus category, and they also carry some type of cell phone insurance or cell phone benefits. So that one's not super interesting to me either. I also wouldn't be able to max out that credit. The next category, department stores, and that includes JCPenney's, Kohl's, Macy's, stores like that. Now, I don't know if that's interesting to me or not, but remember, we choose these categories every quarter. So if you have young children and you are in the quarter where you are going to be spending school clothes money, those of you that have done that knows that that gets really expensive. So if school clothes are coming up, maybe you choose department stores and do all your school clothes shopping. I know 5% cash back will help out when it comes to JCPenney's, Kohl's, and Macy's. The next category, which is the second category to me that is super interesting, home utilities. Now, I currently pay my home utilities mostly through my bank app, and I don't get any rewards for them. My electric bill, I do use a Visa, and I do get some benefit from it, but I don't get 5%. Now, if I found a way to pay all my home utilities with this USBank Cash Plus card, and I earned 5% on it, where I was earning almost nothing before, it's very beneficial. Next category is electronic stores, and this is Best Buy, BestBuy.com, Apple stores. So some fairly good redemptions there. Even with shopping portals, it's hard to get more than 1% cash back at Best Buy. So if you do have some equipment coming up or some equipment purchases coming up, you switch that category for that quarter to electronic stores and get your 5% cash back for it. Next category, sporting goods stores. This is Dick's Sporting Goods, Cabela's, all my friends that are hunters or other types of sportsmen. Those are fairly expensive hobbies for those guys. So when you do have some big purchases coming up, you're going to switch your category to sporting goods stores. Next category is movie theaters. Not a super interesting category to me. However, during the last few months, there were movie theaters that were allowing folks to rent out the entire theater for $100. If that's something you and your kids would want to do a couple times, might be an okay choice for you. For me, not so much. Next category is gyms and fitness centers. Now that on the surface, that doesn't seem like a super interesting category. However, if you have your gym membership coming up and you are one of those people like me that are able to pay for the entire year, that might be a pretty good category. Again, it's a category that you're not normally getting any bonus redemptions on. Next category is furniture stores, IKEA, Lazy Boy, things like that. Again, it's probably not something you're going to use every quarter, but there is going to come a time when you need furniture. You switch that category for that quarter, you're getting a bonus that you wouldn't normally get. The last category for the 5% categories is ground transportation, and this includes a lot of different things. Uber, Greyhound, Amtrak, just a lot of different things. For me, it's a lot of different things I don't really use, so not super interesting. Next part about this card is not so interesting for me. However, if you are fairly new to the credit card game and you don't have a bunch of cards, this could be beneficial to you. In addition to the 5% categories you choose every quarter, you will choose one 2% cashback category. Now, these are also categories that you will use. They are gas stations, grocery, and restaurants. So if you don't have a dedicated card for those things and you don't have a basic 2% cashback card, you might find some value in that. And of course, after the $2,000 and on every other category, you will earn 1% on everything else. Now, the card does have a couple other fairly nice benefits. It has no annual fee. So guys, let's put this in perspective. $2,000 a quarter on 2 categories of your choosing, you'll earn 5% cash back for no annual fee. You can see why this card is fairly tempting for those of us that aren't actually getting any cards right now. I was tempted and I got it. And I will tell you what I'm going to use it for here in a few moments. The card also has a 0% APR on the first 12 billing cycles. Now, here on the channel, we do not recommend you ever carry a balance on your credit card. However, we do understand life happens. And if life does happen and you have to carry a balance for a few months, this could be the card you would use. Okay, so why did I get this card? Like I said, I have not gotten any personal cards in the last few months. I have only applied and been approved for business cards because I want to get under 524 because I want to acquire some Chase cards. Now, what happened to me, I watched a few YouTube videos on the USBank Cash Plus, and it seems like every other credit card YouTuber did the same thing I did. They looked at this card, they analyzed it, and they said, I kind of have to add this. This is just more cash back for categories that I'm not really earning in. So for me, I will gladly take the $150 cash back, store that money away, and I will, at least for now, choose TV, internet, and streaming for the next quarter, which starts in just a few days. So I'll earn 5% on my cable bill, my internet bill, and all my streaming. And I do plan on buying 3 pay-per-views that quarter, so at least $75 per pay-per-view, you know, we're looking at $225 right there for that quarter. I think I'm going to do okay there. Now, my second category, I'm going to do home utilities. I don't have a huge utility bill, but if you know anything about air conditioning and electricity and summertime, you know that that electricity bill is going to be very high the next 3 months. So I have electricity, I have waste and water, and I have gas. So those 3 things that I'm not currently getting much of a redemption on, I plan on getting 5% on those. And it also makes it super easy to just set them up with an automatic bill pay. So that's the 2 categories I'm going to pick. Now, those things might change if I do buy some more equipment for the channel, or I add to my video equipment for, say, drone stuff or GoPro stuff. I could switch that category to electronic stores at some point, and it's nice to have that flexibility. But for the most part, I think those 2 categories are going to kind of stay on the rotation, and this card is just going into a drawer and it'll never see the light of day, and I will just collect cash back. Speaking of cash back, guys, if you're not using a shopping portal such as Rakuten, you are missing out. See the link below. If you sign up through our link and make a Rakuten account, you will receive $30 cash back on your first purchase. It's free money. Guys, if you have stayed until the end, thank you.